As you enter the gallery, you're confronted with a big screen that is a little bit more into your space than halfway. It's in front of a pillar. There's a little bit of space between the screen and the wall. The screen is showing a video. The video is of a bridge, looking over the bridge down into what is a railroad tracks. The railroad tracks are very obviously kind of overgrown, and they have lots of grass and debris in them. Every so often there's a uptake in wind, and the wind makes a image appear across the screen, and the screen is showing that there are other layers and other things to be seen within the video. The video that's being shown is actually a drawing of leaves that were from a different time and a different place than the bridge scene. This type of contrast between the two different elements come together to create this very otherworldly experience within the space of the gallery. Up above the screen, on the wall to the right-hand side, up tall, the gallery ceilings are very tall. They're maybe at least 15 feet tall. Up against the back wall, but away from you, it's facing at an angle, there's another video that's being played. This one is showing a very white screen, and you start to notice that there are chunks of white things sort of flying at you away from the surface of the video. And soon you start to realize that these chunks are snow, and they are starting to reveal what is another layer of the video. Again, a drawing, this time of a pile of kind of debris on the side of a road, also with some leaves, but from a different time than the other leaves from the other video. In the corner, as you look down and to the right away from you, there's a roll of white paper that's very tall. It's about 5.5 feet tall. It's rolled up, standing on its own, and as you look inside, you realize that there is a drawing on the entire inside of the piece of paper. And maybe if you might notice, the drawing is actually the same drawing that is being projected on the screen in front of you as the video shows the wind blowing the layer of the video. That is the drawing itself. So the space has multiple layers, and the lighting is kind of coming in from different places. Hoping that the gallery and the space that I've set up invites you in, but is also kind of intimate. It's, again, only half of the gallery space. So as you walk in, close the door behind you, and you get to kind of just focus on being in one space versus maybe the traditional idea of walking around the gallery to experience the different things around you. This really confronts you and allows you to stay put. And it might seem inviting to go back behind the screen, but that is just a staging area back there. It's not made for anyone to go back there. The only thing in the space with you is the rolled up piece of paper. And again, these drawings are made with graphite, and as you can see with the rolled up piece of paper, it's quite large. So as you are experiencing, but you're also not getting the full effect of the drawing because it's rolled up and you only get to see a little of it, and it's dark, so you can't really get to see everything towards the bottom of the roll. And then the video that's playing in front of you, as the wind is blowing, the video is coming in and out of the frame. So there is this kind of access, but also denial to the labor and the hard work being put into these drawings, just like the kind of buildup of time and kind of energy of watching and staying in one place. I'm hoping this starts to kind of question the ideas of our holding on to memories and wanting to grasp them and not let them go, and using things like videotapes and photographs, video to help us kind of remember. And it's, this kind of attempt at something that's very feeble, because all things change and all things move on and go to different places. So this is a kind of ode to that idea of holding on to what's special to you, but also finding some beautiful and letting things go and allowing things to change and maybe be unexpected in the way that you confront them, but also passively let them go or actively don't hold on to them. So there's this duality to the pieces that are attempting to document, but also not giving away everything to the viewer and actually sort of holding things back. And I feel like my exploration in this has been really interesting in this space, because I've had a lot of time in this space. I've drawn a lot, and today being my last day here, it's been bittersweet, and I've been wanting to document things. So it's been really interesting to spend time in here, but also be wanting to say goodbye in some way. So I'm hoping this night and this experience is that for me, both a thank you and a goodbye to this space. And I hope my energy that I put in here and all the time that I've spent, moves this space along to its next destination, with it being, this very quarantine time where people can't come and, fill the space with energy. Maybe my energy throughout all of this time will be an interesting change of pace for the gallery. So I am getting close to the next stage of this, which might be some version of a continuation of the big drawing that I did, the one that's rolled up in the space. But I'm also really interested in these fabric pieces that I've been working with, and maybe adding some screen kind of projection mapping to the screens. And I'm hoping that that will lead to some interesting next steps that go after this really awesome experience. Just wanted to thank Grizzly for letting me be here and to take part in this artist in residency. It was a really amazing experience, and I hope you all enjoy a little time with the work. And if you have any questions for me, I would be happy to answer them here in a second. And as you can tell, we are getting close to the gallery. If you're familiar with the space, you're noticing some things here. So again, as you walk in this space, you're confronted by a screen. There's a rolled up drawing to your right. Please close the door behind you. Behind and up to the right is another video. So the two videos get to overlap in space and interact with each other. So enjoy. Steps to get from across the dirt past the telephone pole. One step on ice, left foot. One step on ice, right foot. Across the alley, down the street. It's a for rent sign and a grate. There's a pink mask on the ground and a coffee cup leaning against its straw, with the straw still stuck in the cap. Past the convenience store, my right. I stop to look both ways before across the street. There's a crushed spoon on the ground and 3 steps to get over the ice. There's a very shiny railing with a ball that I could see myself in. There's a cement truck that just went by. Very loud. There's a pole with a horse head on it, black pole. There's a parking lot with the gate ajar, silver gate, with one very big bush in it. across the street, go between one-way sign and the little silver pole with stickers on it. Walk past the gas station with many cars parked in front. The roll-up window is halfway up. You can still see some of the red graffiti on the door. I passed a Saturn Ion with no hubcap. The regular unleaded is $2.81. The diesel is $3.72. The air pump seems broken. None of the cables are attached. The light turns green as soon as I get to Spring Garden. So run across 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There's a white Ford, Volvo, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. The light turns yellow right as I get to the sidewalk. There's an orange fire hydrant with a blue top. I can see inside what looks to be old tile company. There's boxes that say Eastman. There's a black white writing on a black cabinet and a railing. It's a handicap rail with mint green cinder blocks going up to it. There's a pickup truck that I've never seen move anywhere. He's been sitting in the same spot for a long time. His tires look like they haven't moved and the snow is all around him. There's green poles with white stripes on them. There's a telephone pole with a sign on it that has writing on the back. More green poles with white stripe that turn into white poles. There's a van that's been getting graffitied for what appears to be a long time. Also looks like it hasn't moved. It's been parked on the street and there's snow piled up around it. Only one on the street that looks like that. The bus drove by as I passed this little cube of a building. It says 11th Street Auto Sales and Tags. It's got a lock and a gate on the door. It looks rusted, like it hasn't been opened in a while. I stop at the corner of Hamilton Street and 11th. There's a black paper bag slowly blowing across the street to where there's birds eating bread on the corner. There's a man in a blue shirt and a white bike that's driving up. I like this corner. There's lots of diagonal lines. Across the crosswalk of diagonal lines. Across the street with yellow poles with 2 orange cones and a sign strapped to them that says no parking, temporary police location. There's a stack of 3 cones next to the telephone pole. There's a do not enter sign that's bent in 2 places. There's a hot dog container on the ground. I'm passing the power plant. It says danger, high voltage, keep out. Warning, no trespassing beyond this point. There's a mirror on the corner. I'm guessing so people can see behind themselves as they walk through the power plant. It says notice marked copper. Across the street there's a restaurant equipment supply that has a stack of wood out front that's caution tape. Hasn't moved in a while. It's got snow on top. There's a road closed sign and orange caution dividers. One that's covered in snow. Really gross brown snow, gray snow. It's been there since the beginning of these storms. As I keep walking, I can hear the electric plant turn on. It's
got a low, constant hum. I'm walking past trees that are short, but have lots of texture to them, little buds. But those will be pretty in the spring. There's a sticker that has a surveillance camera on it, on a telephone pole, and as I look up, there's 4 security cameras on a pole and more mirrors on the corners. There's a net on the sides of the underpass. It's full of caught items from the street. I'm walking under the old bridge. There's cones across the street to separate. We'll go around the construction there. The walk signs on to cross Cutler Hill. There's a glove on the step. It's covered in ice, rubber glove. There's a house missing from the row. Looks like there hasn't been a house there in a long time. There's graffiti everywhere. There's a baby blue building. Has a brass mailbox left. There's purple crystals, square ones stuck into the floor, side of the street. There's an orange bag that has canned food in it. I put in the digits to get into the building. Open the door. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get up to a landing around the railing. Pulling the red door. Hold it open for myself. Look at a brick wall as the door closes behind me softly. 1, 2 steps to get up to a pipe with a big red knob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To a landing. 1, 2, 3. To a landing. 1, 2, 8. To the door. That's the second floor. There's a pipe in front of me. I open that door. Go out to a balcony. There's a black railing. Graffiti on the walls. Open the red door. To get to our floor. The floor is loud. I can hear all my footprints. The building is quiet. There's a low hum of the heater. Turn left or turn right to get down the building. And then turn left to get down the hallway towards the show. My keys are cold. I'm waiting outside. I'm trying to find my key. Frozen. Someone in the studio over listening to something loudly. Open the door and come inside.